So my favourite lyric from All Hard Feelings is there's a line, I can't remember what I did last week, but I can still hear your burnt CD. So it's like this idea of just like, I'm always so like hung up on all these things and I can't remember anything else that's actually kind of important about my life, but I can remember like the mixtape you made me, like get out of my brain. Hey, I'm Imogen Clark. I am a singer-songwriter and I'm here at Happy to talk about my new album that's coming out really soon. So probably the most special experience for me in recording this album was walking into Abbey Road. Part of the philosophy behind the making of this record was that we had had such a hard time in the last few years, obviously as everyone had with COVID, of not being able to be in the same place as the people we're making the record with, and we did the best we could making everything over Zoom, doing everything remote. You know, we were happy with that, but it obviously wasn't ideal. So now that we could go to all these places, we were like, let's just throw caution to the wind and go to like the best studios in the world that have been the places where some of my favourite records of all time have been made. So we had pieces that came from Sydney and Melbourne, but then we had the first single was recorded at Abbey Road, obviously in London, which was just the most surreal time of my life. So that's the song If I Want In, and that was just the most beautiful experience. And obviously Abbey Road is a place we've all seen from the outside. We've all seen sort of photos and we've seen the crossing and all of the touristy stuff, but when you walk in there, there's photos all down the hall. You feel the presence of all of the history that's been created there. And then we were in Studio 3. We were lucky enough to have the Mrs. Mills piano, which is the piano that Paul McCartney played on Lady Madonna, you know, that really distinctive percussive piano sound. And I remember just sitting down at this piano and like playing a chord and just hearing like Lady Madonna and Penny Lane, and it was one of the most special things to think that, you know, these records that have been made in this exact studio, records like Revolver and Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd, you know, all these incredible records are like, now we get to be a little tiny part of history kind of in the making in this same location. It sort of so special, I'll never forget it. We also got to record at East West in LA, which is where Beach Boys recorded Pet Sounds, and Frank Sinatra recorded a lot of his fantastic stuff. So really special rooms where really important records have been made, and you could feel it being in the room. Working with the level of musicians we worked with on this record was like such a privilege, and to have these people whose music I had listened to and whose skills and like musicianship had featured on records I love for all of my life, having those people play my songs was kind of surreal. I would say probably the person I clicked with the most was Griff Goldsmith from the band Doors, who is like my favourite current band. I love Doors so much, and so to have Griff come in and play drums on a few of the songs from the album, it was just the most beautiful experience. He immediately knew what we wanted. He nailed everything in like the first couple of takes, and he was just like, okay, I guess we're done. Like it was just so special and fun to have him on board.
I want to know what your favourite song is.
Ooh, I love this question, and it's funny because like it's fun to get to talk about this because we've all been focused on singles, and now getting to start talking about the record as a whole is really fun. Honestly, my favourite song changes quite frequently. Probably right now, my favourite is a song called All Hard Feelings, which came out in January. That song was written with two of my friends, Sinead Burgess and Blake O'Connor, who are Nashville-based now, Australian-born. I walked into the writing session the day we wrote it and was just like, I have realised that although I am an adult woman, I have never gotten over anything that has ever happened to me in my entire life. And so I want to write a tongue-in-cheek song about the fact that I've never gotten over anything, and like kind of making light of that, which, you know, I'm a big Taylor Swift fan as well, and I saw this hilarious meme once online that was like, I don't think Taylor Swift has ever shaken anything off in her entire life, and I was like, go off, queen. That's same. So that's partially inspired the song. I don't know if you guys feel this way. 2022 to me felt still weird. It was like, we're kind of free, but we're not really free, and something didn't feel right for me mentally, and a lot of this record has actually been about just my mental experience through those years of being like, I don't know if I could get back to the person I was before this. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, because it's like the idea of I lost something in these years that I don't know if I can get back, and even though we're allegedly back to normal, it's not returning for me. And there's specifically a song on the record called The Last of Me that is about that, and feeling just like pushing back on that idea and clawing your way back to a mental place of sanity and just going, you haven't seen the last of me, I'm gonna get through this. And so I feel so grateful to have had this, you know, the year of 2023 was so wonderful, and 2024 I think is just, things are just gonna get better, and I feel so healed through making this record. So 2024 for me, as well as, you know, releasing this album I'm so proud of, is going to be as much touring as I possibly can do, but also I'm moving to Nashville. So I'm moving, you know, just before the album comes out, and I'm so excited and nervous. I think it's just going to be a great new era of my life, and I'll never forget Australia. I'll be back here touring all the time, but it's going to be a new home base for me. So great to get to do this. Thank you guys for inviting me. I'm Imogen Clark. Thank you so much, Happy, for having me, and it's been a pleasure chatting to you. Please go listen to my new album, The Art of Getting Through.